Hello everyone, Carter here, and welcome back to my Ultra Campaign progression playthrough of The Lord of the Rings: The Living Card Game by Fantasy Flight Games. Last time I defeated Ungoliant Spawn on my way out of Mirkwood, and today I will be continuing with the second quest of the Mirkwood Paths campaign called Journey Along the Anduin. Now, because of the exhaustion rule that I have created for my Ultra campaign, after completing a scenario successfully, one of my heroes randomly becomes exhausted and can no longer be used for the rest of any given mini-campaign, which is what I'm calling each campaign put out by Fantasy Flight. So in this example, the Mirkwood Paths campaign is a 5-quest mini-campaign. I randomly selected Denethor from last time to be exhausted, so he cannot be used throughout the rest of the Mirkwood Paths mini-campaign. And I also randomly selected 5 player cards from my deck that also cannot be used for the rest of the Mirkwood Paths campaign. If you want more information on how the Ultra campaign rules work and exactly which cards I cannot use in my player deck, I'll link the article for that down below. But for now, I'm going to go over which hero I replaced Denethor with. So I'm still using Aragorn from last time. His response should continue coming in handy, where I can spend 1 resource from his resource pool after Aragorn commits to a quest to ready him. So I can continue using him for questing and then something else like attacking or defending. And then, of course, I am still using Anduin. I was very happy when I didn't randomly select her to be exhausted. She is my main quester with 4 willpower and maybe up to 5 if I discard a card from my hand. Now, I lost Denethor, which means I'm not going to be able to do any encounter deck scrying, which was so helpful in the last scenario. Instead, I decided to replace Denethor with Theodred. So, Theodred is an 8 starting threat hero with 1 willpower, 2 attack, 1 defense, and 4 hit points. And he has a response that says, after Theodred commits to a quest, choose a hero committed to that quest. Add 1 resource to that hero's resource pool. So his ability works pretty well with Aragorn, where I can potentially commit them both to a quest, Theodred and Aragorn. I can give a resource to Aragorn using Theodred's response, and then I can use that resource on Aragorn to ready him and continue using Aragorn throughout the rest of the round. So there's some good synergy between those 2 heroes. Also, I'm no longer playing Trisphere, so Denethor is in the lore sphere. I decided to add in Theodred, who is also in the leadership sphere like Aragorn, so it should be easier for me to play some purple cards. And of course, I still have 1 spirit hero, so I kept some blue cards in my deck. From the first scenario, Passage Through Mirkwood, after completing it, the campaign allows me to add 1 copy of Mendor's Support to my deck. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle that in here before I draw my starting hand. And then I'm going to draw 6 cards and see if I want to keep my starting hand. So as you may already know, and you're about to find out, this second quest, Journey Along the Anduin, is essentially the Hill Troll quest. There's a big enemy that starts in your way, and you have to find a way to not have that troll kill your heroes, or ideally not engage with you. So I kind of made my deck to have a couple different strategies to try to get around the Hill Troll. One of those strategies is threat reduction. So I'm seeing right away that I have the Galadrim's Greeting in my hand, which allows me to reduce my threat by 6, which is going to be good for lowering my threat level to not allow the Hill Troll to engage with me. So I think just because I have this threat reduction, that is enough for me to decide to keep this hand, even though it's not a great hand. I have Snowborn Scout, which is a great cheap ally for this quest, and I have the Silverlode Archer, which is another ally with 2 attack that could be fairly useful. So we'll see where this goes. I also have Hasty Stroke, which allows me to cancel the shadow effect, Dwarven Tomb, which allows me to return a spirit card from my discard pile to my hand, and a Light in the Dark, which allows me to choose an enemy engaged with me and return it to the staging area. So this is another potential strategy against the Hill Troll. If I don't want to let it attack me, I can send it right back to the staging area. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this hand, And then I'm going to go ahead and load up my quest. So, Journey Along the Anduin. And let's go ahead and set this up. So, Journey Along the Anduin, quest card 1A, To the River. Emerging from Mirkwood Forest with an urgent message for Lady Galadriel, you must now make your way south along the Anduin River in order to reach the Forest of Lorien. As you leave the forest behind, you notice that you are being pursued and thus quicken your pace. Setup. Each player reveals one card from the top of the encounter deck and adds it to the staging area. So I will do that in just 1 second, but before I reveal my card, I need to note that the last scenario's campaign rules also instructed me to get this Lingering Venom Burden card. This means that I'll be shuffling this Lingering Venom card into every encounter deck in the Mirkwood Paths campaign, including this encounter deck for Journey Along the Anduin. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the encounter deck, shuffle that up, and now I can go ahead and do the setup where I reveal one card from the top of the encounter deck. So let's see what I get. We have Gladden Fields. So Gladden Fields is a 3-threat location that has a pretty nasty effect here. Forced, while Gladden Fields is the active location, each player must raise his threat by an additional point during the refresh phase. This quest is notorious for punishing players for having a high threat, so this is a location that I would like to avoid if possible. So we'll see how I end up dealing with that. I'll go ahead and flip this quest card, and it requires 8 progress points to complete. As you approach the location of a small raft stashed on the riverbank, a fearsome hill troll emerges from behind a grouping of rocks and attacks. When revealed, search the encounter deck for one hill troll, if one is not already in play, and place it in the staging area, and then shuffle the encounter deck. Players cannot defeat this stage while any hill troll cards are in play. So I need to get 8 progress tokens on this quest and kill any hill trolls in order to progress through the quest. And this is why I said that this quest is the hill troll quest, because you start out with a hill troll right in front of you no matter what. So here we go, and this is a nasty one for the early game. The hill troll has an engagement level of 30, which is a little scary because, as you can see here, my starting threat is 29. So the hill troll will be coming to engage me fairly soon unless I lower my threat. It has a threat of 1, attack of 6, 3 defense, and 9 hit points. So it's a pretty big enemy. And it has an effect that says excess combat damage dealt by a hill troll, damage that is dealt beyond the remaining hit points of the character damaged by its attack, must be assigned as an increase to your threat. So I really don't want to engage this enemy, so I'm going to be trying hard to leave it in the staging area until I feel ready to defeat it. So this is my setup. I also need to do the campaign setup for Journey Along the Anduin, so let me grab this card over here. Let's see, we are playing campaign mode. Yes, setup, put Mendor into play. Let's go ahead and do that. You'll remember Mendor from last quest. He does the same thing. I would say the most notable thing here is that his response is after a quest card is defeated, ready him and draw 1 card. So that card draw will be nice if I can actually make it through some quest cards. Then, set each copy of Valor and Scarred aside out of play. Now, what are Valor and Scarred? There's a response that says, after a hill troll is defeated, each player attaches 1 set-aside copy of Valor to a hero they control if able. But, after a character is destroyed by a hill troll, each player attaches 1 set-aside copy of Scarred to a hero they control. So, if I kill a hill troll, I get Valor, and if a hill troll kills one of my characters, one of my heroes becomes Scarred. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that does. Valor is a permanent attachment, limit 1 per hero, with a response. After attached hero is declared as an attacker, exhaust Valor to heal 1 damage from attached hero and deal 1 damage to the defending enemy. So this is a nice attachment if we can kill a hill troll, which we're going to have to. So some nice healing and direct damage effects. But then also there's this Scarred card. So let's take a look at that. It is also a permanent, limit 1 per hero, and says forced after a character you control is destroyed, raise your threat by 1. So this is nasty. If a hill troll kills one of your characters, you're forced to put Scarred on a hero you control. And then, once Scarred is in play, the more characters you lose, the more you end up raising your threat. So we're going to really hope that we don't let a hill troll kill one of my characters, because if it does, Scarred is going to remain on a hero throughout the rest of the Mirkwood Paths mini campaign, which is, again, 5 quests long. So hopefully we'll avoid that. And that is all we need for the campaign setup. Again, if Mendor leaves play, the players lose the game. So we have to make sure Mendor stays alive. Okay, let's set that aside. And then we should be good to start right away. So I'm going to go ahead and gain resources and draw a card. I drew Faramir, who is a good ally to help boost some questing, and he's a pretty strong ally by himself, but he costs quite a bit, so I probably won't be able to play him for a while. So my number one priority right away is to lower my threat. The hill troll should not be engaging me this round, but next round, after I increase my threat by 1, I'll have 30, and the hill troll will come to me. So I need to make sure to reduce my threat by next round so the hill troll cannot come to me. So I'm really eyeing the Galadrim's Greeting right now to be able to reduce my threat by 6, which means I need resources on Anduin. So, thinking, and I think what I need to do here is not play any cards for now and go straight to the questing phase, where I'm going to go ahead and quest, and I need to quest enough progress to combat the threat in the staging area. There's 4 threat in the staging area right now, and 1 more card coming out. I have no idea what card that is because I lost Denethor, so I don't have any more scrying abilities of the encounter deck. So I'm already a little bit more uncomfortable than the last scenario. This scenario is definitely harder than Passage Through Mirkwood. So my first thought is that I should quest with both Theodred and Anduin so that I can use Theodred's ability to add 1 resource to Anduin's pool. So I will be doing that because I'm going to need those spirit resources. But I need to quest more than that most likely. So I'm also going to quest Mendor. And I think I'm also going to quest Aragorn here. And I'm going to use his resource to keep him standing just in case. I don't know what's going to happen. I might draw an enemy and I don't want to be completely exhausted out in case I do get something that I don't like. So I'm going to quest for 8 willpower in total. And now we reveal our first card. And we get Dol Guldur Orcs. When revealed, the first player chooses 1 character currently committed to a quest and deal 2 damage to that character. So this is not great. I think what I should do here is choose Theodred, since Theodred probably won't be taking much damage from anything else, and I will deal 2 damage straight to him. Okay, so I quested for 8. There is now 6 threat in the staging area, so I end up making 2 progress, which is nice. Now, I don't like Gladden Field, but it does contribute 3 threat to the staging area, so I really don't like it in the staging area either. I do plan to reduce my threat next turn, so I should be under 30, so I'm going to go ahead and travel to the Gladden Field, even though that might not be the greatest idea, but I don't like that 3 threat, so let's go for it. Now, in the encounter phase, I'm going to leave this hill troll there, and it does not automatically engage me yet, and I will optionally engage these Dol Guldur Orcs. They're going to come to me no matter what. So let's deal shadow cards here. And now I could take this undefended and take it straight to a hero. And I'm thinking of doing that because then I could kill the orcs with Aragorn right away and not have enemies potentially building up in my play area here. So I'm going to take a little bit of risk for hopefully a good reward. So I'm going to take this undefended. Evil Storm is the shadow card with no shadow effect, so that is great. I will take the undefended damage right onto Aragorn and then attack with Aragorn and kill my Dol Guldur Orcs. And that seems like a fairly okay round to start off. I did take 2 damage on both Theodred and Aragorn, which isn't great, but I should be able to avoid the hill troll. So That's pretty good. I'm going to gain resources and draw a card, and I drew another Faramir, which isn't great. Faramir is unique, so I can only have one copy of him in play anyways, so that's not really doing anything for me just yet. The good news here is that I now can play the Galadrim's Greeting, which I'm going to do. First, I almost didn't remember, Gladden Fields raises my threat by an additional point during the refresh phase, so my threat is not 30, it is 31. So I'm going to play 3 spirit resources for Galadrim's Greeting and reduce my threat by 6 down to 25, which is much more comfortable. This hill troll should be sitting in the staging area for a little while now, which is great. Other than that, do I want to save these resources? I do think I might want to save those resources, so I'm not going to play anything else just yet. I'm going to go ahead and quest now, and I really want to quest through Gladden Fields because I don't want to raise my threat by an additional point. So again, I'm going to quest with everyone, and I'm going to spend a resource from Aragorn to ready him, and now I get to choose who I want to give this resource from Theodred to. From Theodred's ability, who do I want to give this resource to? And I'm thinking I'm going to give it to Eowyn again, and I'm thinking that just because I have this Hasty Stroke shadow cancellation in my hand, if an enemy comes out and I happen to pull a bad shadow effect, I want to be able to pay for Hasty Stroke, so I'm going to give that resource to Eowyn. So, I 8 willpower to 1 threat in the staging area, and I reveal 1 additional card. Necromancer's Reach. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each exhausted character. So this is no good. I deal 1 damage to Theodred, 1 damage to Eowyn, and 1 damage to Mendor. And Theodred is 3 damage out of 4 hit points, so he is almost dead, and that is not good. So we resolve the Necromancer's Reach, and we still make 7 progress, which is really great. So 3 progress goes on Gladden Fields, and we clear that location, gaining 3 victory points. And 4 progress spills over, and we now have 6 progress tokens on the current quest out of 8. But of course, we do need to take out that hill troll before we can think about clearing this first quest card. Okay, that's great. I will not optionally engage the hill troll because I cannot handle it yet, so it will sit there in the staging area, and I'll let the round end. So I will ready my heroes, gain resources, and draw a new card. And I draw Guard of the Citadel. Okay, so things are going okay, but there's a lot of damage on the board, unfortunately. Now, I can't do anything about that just yet, but I can start bringing some allies into play. So I'm going to go ahead. What do I want to do here? I think I would like to bring someone who can start helping me fight. So I think maybe Faramir is a good idea. I'm going to pay 4 resources to bring Faramir into play. He has 2 questing, 1 attack, 2 defense, and 3 hit points, which are already pretty good stats. And he has this ability, Action Exhaust Faramir, to choose a player. Each character controlled by that player gets +1 willpower until the end of the phase. So his action is very great. I can wait to use it until I reveal cards from the encounter deck, and then choose to use his action for some flexibility on how much willpower I am questing for. And if I don't use his action, he can defend pretty well. He's not a great attacker though, so I probably won't be using him for that at all. So that's all I'm going to play for now, and I go straight into questing. So I'm not going to quest with Theodred because I'm worried about pulling cards that damage Theodred. So I'm going to go ahead and quest with... there's a lot of cards that could be really bad for me here. I think I need to quest with Aragorn, Eowyn, and Mendor. And I wouldn't necessarily usually quest for Aragorn, but I'm thinking about these... where'd they go? The Dol Guldur orcs from earlier. If I pull another one of those, I have to deal 2 damage to someone committed to a quest. And the only person who can survive that right now is Aragorn. I guess I could defend, or I could quest with Faramir as well. That is an option instead of Aragorn. You know, that's actually an interesting option as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna quest with Faramir because I probably won't need to use his action there. So yeah, I'm gonna quest with those 3 characters, and now I reveal a card from the encounter deck. Enchanted Stream. Okay, that's not too bad at all. So I'm gonna raise my threat by 4, or sorry, I'm not gonna raise my threat. I make 4 progress on the quest because I quested 7 and there is 3 threat in the staging area. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I have 10 progress on this quest card, which is more than enough, but I cannot defeat this stage while any hill troll cards are in play. So this quest card is going to sit here until I can defeat my hill troll, which probably won't be for a little while. I need to build up a little bit more of an army before I can even think about doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and travel to the Enchanted Stream, which, while Enchanted Stream is the active location, I cannot draw cards. So I will not be drawing any cards my next turn, which should be okay, I guess. I have quite a few cards that I have to play with right now. So that's the end of the round. Nothing else happens, so I am going to raise my threat by 1, ready all my characters, gain resources, and I do not draw cards because of Enchanted Stream, so I'm just going to go ahead and start the next round. And I get to play cards. I don't have a lot of resources yet, but I should start building up an ally army, I think. So I'm going to pay 2 for Guard of the Citadel. Now, I want to make sure to quest through Enchanted Stream so I can continue drawing cards. So I'm going to quest with Anduin again. Oh, these are still committed from last time. Let's clear that. Yes, so I'm going to quest with Anduin again. And I need to quest with probably a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and quest with Mendor as well. And again, I'm thinking of those Dol Guldur orcs that I'm so scared of, dealing 2 damage to a questing character. So again, I'm going to quest with Faramir. That seems like a good choice here. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal my encounter card, and we get the Necromancer's Reach. Oh no. Okay, so again, we deal 1 damage to each exhausted character. Damage here, and damage here. Now, Anduin is 2 out of 3 damage. Mendor is 2 out of 3 damage, and we are close to losing this quest. A lot of damage has been placed. So the Necromancer's Reach resolves, and we make 6 progress. So 2 clears the Enchanted Stream, and 4 spills over to the quest card. We have 14 out of 18 progress points. That doesn't really matter at this point. So I still don't feel comfortable taking this hill troll because I can't take it without getting scarred, because I know that it's going to be able to kill one of my characters. So I have to keep it in the staging area, and my threat is going to keep going up. This is not looking great because of all this damage going around. I'm getting a little nervous. I'm going to ready my heroes, raise threat, gain resources, and draw a card. And I gain Mendor's support. Interesting, so I can play this for 0 cost to give Mendor +2 questing, +2 willpower, +2 willpower, +2 attack, and +2 defense until the end of the round. Now, this card is best played right between quest cards because I can ready Mendor and use him for 2 different things. So if I quest with him for 3 and then use Mendor's support, and then I can ready him as I progress through the quest card and then use him for defending or attack. That's really the best way to use him. Use this Mendor support card. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that, but we shall see. So I am familiar with this encounter deck, and I know that there are 3 copies of that Necromancer's Reach card in there. So there's 41 cards left in the encounter deck and only 1 copy of Necromancer's Reach. So I'm going to hope that it doesn't come out, and I'm going to play as if I don't have to worry about Necromancer's Reach. I do still have to worry about Dol Guldur orcs, which deal 2 damage to a questing character. There are 2 more of those in the encounter deck, so I gotta be wary of that. So Now what I'm going to do, I don't think I'm going to play any cards. I don't really have anything that I feel like playing just yet. But I am going to quest now. So I got to be careful of that Dol Guldur Orc card. So what I'm going to do, I think, is quest with Anduin and Guard of the Citadel. Now I'm going to reveal my card from the encounter deck, and it's Evil Storm. This is a great card because when revealed, deal 1 damage to each character controlled by each player with a threat of 35 or higher. I do not have a threat of 35 or higher, so I don't have to deal damage to every one of my characters. Otherwise, that would be very, very bad. So this resolves, nothing happens, and I make 4 progress. Again, that's not really doing anything. And I have to just pass the round because otherwise I still can't take this hill troll, so I'm kind of just stalling at this point. So let's go ahead and gain resources and draw a new card. I did draw another threat reduction card, which is going to help me stall for even longer and not engage this hill troll. So I will use that. 1, 2, 3 for Galadrim's Greeting. Reduce my threat by 6, so I'm now down to 23, which is nice. Then I will play 3 leadership resources for a silver load archer. He has 1 willpower and 2 attack and only 1 hit point, so he's really best used as an attacker. So I'm building up my army to hopefully be able to kill my hill troll eventually. Let's go straight into the questing phase, where I'm going to do the same thing as last time. I'm going to quest Anduin and Guard of the Citadel and reveal my card. And we get a Wolf Rider. Has 1 threat, 2 attack, 2 hit points, and unfortunately the keyword Surge, which is one of the most annoying parts about this card game. Surge means another encounter card comes off the encounter deck. So let's see what I get. And all the enemies are starting to come out. I get Wargs. 2 threat, 3 attack, 1 defense, 3 hit points, and it has a really annoying effect that says Forced. If Wargs is dealt a shadow card with no effect, return Wargs to the staging area after it attacks. So this thing might be coming in and out of play if it gets a shadow card with no effect. So I end up still making 1 progress on the quest. And unfortunately, because of their engagement levels, both of these enemies are going to come straight to me. And the hill troll I'm going to leave right where it is. So I'm going to deal shadow cards here. And I am in a little bit of a pickle, unfortunately. So what is the good move here? I think what I'm going to go ahead and do, maybe a little bit of a risky play, defend the Wargs with Faramir. They have 3 attack to Faramir's 2 defense. Luckily, I do have another copy of Faramir that I could potentially play later, so we will see about that. But for now, I'm going to defend with Faramir, reveal the shadow card. The shadow card has no effect, so Faramir takes 1 damage, and because Wargs was dealt a shadow card with no effect, Wargs goes back to the staging area, which is quite annoying. Then I will defend the Wolf Rider with Aragorn, and that is a great shadow card to pull. The Necromancer's Reach, the last copy of the Necromancer's Reach, which means I really don't have to worry about that card anymore. No shadow effect means Aragorn takes no damage, and I will shoot back with Theodred to kill my Wolf Rider. So it's not great that this Wargs is still in play, but it's very good to get rid of the Necromancer's Reach there. So at the end of the combat phase, this shadow card gets discarded, and that is the end of the round. So I will gain resources, ready my heroes, and draw a card. And I draw Longbeard Orc Slayer. Okay. Interesting. So that's another ally that can attack for just a little bit and deals damage to orcs when it comes into play. So I'm not loving my hand right now. I can't do a lot, unfortunately. So I won't play any cards. Now I know that no Necromancer's Reach is coming, so that's very, very good. I am still a little bit concerned about the Dol Guldur orcs, so I think what I'll do is quest with, let's see here, Anduin, Guard of the Citadel, and I will also quest with Theodred, just so that I can use his response after Theodred commits to a quest, choose a hero committed to that quest, I'm going to choose Theodred and add 1 resource to Theodred's pool. So just some resource generation there for himself. Let's see, that's 3 progress. That's not great, but it probably will be enough. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal a card now. And we get another enemy, Misty Mountain Goblins. So I make another progress on the quest, but I'm being swarmed by enemies, unfortunately. Misty Mountain Goblins have 2 threat, 2 attack, 1 defense, and 3 hit points, and they have forced after Misty Mountain Goblins attacks, remove 1 progress token from the current quest. That doesn't matter much because I have 20 progress tokens on the current quest, way more than I need. So in the engagement, or in the encounter phase, both the Misty Mountain Goblins and the Wargs will again engage with me, which is not great. This is not great. So I need to think about what I want to do here. This is interesting. So what I'm going to do is defend. Yeah, I think I need to defend the Misty Mountain Goblins with Faramir. Let's pull the shadow card. Defending player chooses and returns 1 exhausted ally he controls to its owner's hand. If he controls no exhausted allies, raise his threat by 3. Pursued by Shadow. So this Pursued by Shadow card isn't too bad right now. I can return Guard of the Citadel to my hand. Luckily, I did have Guard of the Citadel that was exhausted because otherwise I would have to return Faramir to my hand, and then this attack would be undefended and I would have to place the damage straight on a hero. So I'm very glad that I could use Guard of the Citadel there. Now Misty Mountain Goblin attacked, so I remove 1 progress from the quest card here. Now, this is an interesting situation where I have the Wargs in front of me. I think it is time to use Mendor's support, unfortunately, and I'm going to give Mendor +2 willpower, +2 attack, and +2 defense. I'm really just worried about the defense here. I put him up to 3 defense, and I can now defend the Wargs, who have 3 attack to 3 defense. So I'm going to defend with Mendor. Let's look at the Wargs shadow card. Massing at Night. Shadow, deal X shadow cards to this attacker. X is the number of players in the game. So it gets 1 more shadow card. Let's go ahead and do that and reveal this one. And no shadow effect there. So this is actually very unfortunate. Mendor does take no damage, which is great. But the Warg's text says if it's dealt a shadow card with no effect. The first shadow card did not have an effect, or did have an effect, but the second one did not. So because it was dealt this second shadow card with no effect, the Wargs again go back to the staging area. Very unfortunate. So I can attack my Misty Mountain Goblins with Aragorn and Silverlode Archer. So 5 attack is enough to kill my Misty Mountain Goblins, but the Wargs survive another round. So I will discard these 2 shadow cards, and it's unfortunate that the Wargs are still here. I could have potentially canceled the first shadow effect, Massing at Night. Then the Wargs would have stayed engaged with me, and I could have killed the Wargs instead. I took a risk, and the second shadow card didn't have an effect, so the Wargs came back to the staging area. Oh well, hopefully I'll be able to deal with them in the future. So let's raise threat, gain resources, and draw a card. And I drew another copy of Faramir. That's very interesting how many copies of Faramir I'm drawing, which is good. I guess I can kill a copy of Faramir and then play another one after he goes to the discard pile. It's not the most efficient use of resources, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring back into play Guard of the Citadel for 2 leadership resources, and that is all. I will go ahead and quest with Anduin, Guard of the Citadel, and Theodred once again, and I will use Theodred's ability to give himself a resource like last time. So I reveal a card from the encounter deck, and we get Necromancer's Pass. Okay, so we make 0 progress, we just quest even, and we have this nasty location. 3 threat, 2 progress tokens, and the first player must discard 2 cards from his hand at random to travel here. I have no choice really except to travel here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I have to discard 2 cards at random from my hand. Discarding 1 copy of Faramir would be good, but hopefully I can keep 1 more copy of Faramir. So let's see, I'm going to randomly generate a number from 1 to 7 for my first card, and I discard Longbeard Orc Slayer. That's not too bad of a card to discard. And the second random number, I get a Light in the Dark, so not too bad there, I guess. We can always grab one of those spirit cards using Dwarven Tomb anyways. Okay, so again, the wargs come and engage with me, get dealt a shadow card, and I have some choices to make. Mendor no longer has +2 defense, so I can't defend with him. I could defend with Aragorn. That would make him take a little bit of damage. I think I might actually defend... I think I'm going to go ahead and defend with Faramir, even though he's going to die. Because I have more Faramir in my hand and I have the resources to play him, that should be okay. Let's hope that the wargs get dealt a shadow card with an effect. Let's see. And no, Marsh Adder has no shadow card, so wargs goes back to the staging area once again, and Faramir dies. I will discard shadow cards, and that's the end of the round. So on and on we go. I draw a Gandalf, which is quite good. I probably am going to need to save him for the hill troll, so it looks like pretty soon we're going to be able to take out the hill troll. So let's see how this goes. So for my planning phase, I'm going to go ahead and use 4 resources to play Faramir once again. And then other than that, I'm not going to play any cards, and I'm going to go ahead and quest just like I did last time, giving 1 resource to Theldred once again. And I'm thinking if I want to quest any more, because I want to be able to probably go through Necromancer's Pass, but I think I don't want to quest with any more than that. So I'm currently making 3 progress, but let's see what the next card is. It is an Eastern Crows. Now, this isn't too bad. It has 1 threat, 1 attack, and 1 hit point, but it does have Surge, which means another card comes out. And we get Gladden Fields. Another one of these locations that caused me to raise my threat, which is unfortunate. So, I think what I need to do here is use this action window, because I'm not questing successfully here. I'd have to raise my threat and not clear this location. I'm going to use Faramir's action, exhaust Faramir to choose a player. Each character controlled by that player gets +1 willpower until the end of the phase. So this allows me to give Theldred, Eowyn, and Guard of the Citadel +1 willpower. So now I am questing successfully for 2 progress, and I clear Necromancer's Pass exactly by placing 2 progress tokens on it. This allows me to travel to Gladden Fields to get that 3 threat out of the staging area. And now back to these enemies again. The Eastern Crows also have an encounter level of 30, so I don't have to engage them, and I probably won't. It's probably not a good idea at this point to engage. So I will take the wargs once again and deal them a shadow card. So this is a little bit of a pickle. I'm not quite sure what I should do here. I could defend and kill my Silverlode Archer, but that would be wasting 2 attack there. Alternatively, I could defend with Aragorn, but that wouldn't leave me enough power to kill my wargs if they stay engaged with me. So we have a couple choices here. I do have another choice where I could use Dwarven Tomb to grab Light in the Dark from my staging area to return the wargs to the staging area, but that seems like a pretty inefficient option. So, I guess my best option here is to defend with Aragorn, even though I don't like that option. Wargs does not have a shadow effect, so Aragorn takes 1 damage from the wargs, and the wargs go back to the staging area once again. So Aragorn is at 3 out of 5 hit points, which is not great, but at least I didn't have to kill any of my allies for that. So we will discard this shadow card, go to the next round, and I do have to raise my threat by 1 additional point because of Gladden Field, so I go to 28. This is a long quest all of a sudden. So let's see what we have here. Now this is nice. This could be potentially what we need. And Ever Vigilant is a great option for Gandalf. Choose and ready one ally card, so I can use Gandalf's really strong powers to do different things if I want. Now, I need to do a little bit of quick math to see if I have enough damage to take out the Hill Troll, because it has 3 defense and 9 hit points, so I need to deal 12 damage. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I do have enough. So I think it is time to deal with my Hill Troll. Yes, I think this is the smart play. So what I'm going to do is use 5 resources, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to play Gandalf. And Gandalf is a great ally with 4 willpower, 4 attack, 4 defense, and 4 hit points. But he has one drawback, which is at the end of the round, discard Gandalf from play. So I have to make good use of him. But he has a really good response. After Gandalf enters play, choose 1. Draw 3 cards, deal 4 damage to 1 enemy in play, or reduce my threat by 5. All of these are very good options, but I think what I have to do is get rid of these pesky wargs, deal 4 damage to the wargs to get them out of play so they don't keep attacking me over and over again. Maybe that wasn't the best choice, but those wargs are really annoying me, so I wanted to get them out of here. Okay, so I'm planning on taking the Hill Troll and hopefully defeating it this time. So what I'm going to do is do some questing, but I can't do much questing. I just have to do enough questing to quest, not raise my threat too much, but still be able to kill my Hill Troll. So my plan is to defend the Hill Troll with Gandalf, ready Gandalf with Ever Vigilant, and then swing back for 12. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is what we need. And I think I do have that. So if I quest with Anduin, that should be perfectly fine. I think I could even quest with Faramir and still be okay. Yeah, I think I can, and I think I'm going to do that because I still have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, just enough to kill my Hill Troll. So yeah, I'm going to quest with Anduin and Faramir. So I reveal 1 card from the encounter deck, and I get Misty Mountain Goblins, which is a little bit annoying. I make 2 progress on the quest. Now I think I want to use Eowyn's action here. Discard 1 card from your hand to give Eowyn +1 willpower. The reason for that is that I want to make 3 progress so I can go past this Gladden Field and get it out of play. So I think I will go ahead and discard my last copy of Faramir, boost Eowyn's willpower by 1, and make an additional progress, and clear Gladden Fields from the active location. Now, I have a little bit of an issue. I need to take the Misty Mountain Goblins, and I want to take the Hill Troll. Let me double check that I can do both of those things. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We might be 1 damage short. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, there is one way. And the way would be to kill my Guard of the Citadel, so I think I need to do that. Yes, so in the encounter phase, I am going to optionally engage the Hill Troll, and the Misty Mountain Goblins will automatically engage me, while the Eastern Crows will continue to sit in the staging area because their encounter level is 30. Now, I deal shadow cards to these enemies, and I will first defend my Hill Troll with Gandalf with 4 defense. The Hill Troll is dealing 6 damage, so I should be okay here. Let's flip the shadow card, and the shadow effect is remove 1 progress token from the current quest. That's okay because I have so much progress on the quest. 6 damage goes to Gandalf. He has 4 defense, so he ends up taking 2 damage. Then I will use 1 resource from Aragorn to use Ever Vigilant and choose and ready 1 ally card, and that will be Gandalf. So I can use him to attack the Hill Troll as well, which is going to be very good. Now, unfortunately, the only way to be able to kill my hill troll is to defend the Misty Mountain Goblins with Guard of the Citadel, which means my Guard of the Citadel is going to die. So let's flip the Shadow card. And, oh man, again we get Pursued by Shadow. Defending player chooses and returns one exhausted ally he controls to its owner's hand. And now I have to choose Faramir, because if I choose Guard of the Citadel, this attack becomes undefended and the damage needs to go straight on a hero. Dang. So Faramir goes back to my hand, Guard of the Citadel dies, and because the Misty Mountain Goblins attack, I remove one progress token from the current quest. So that's not great. I lose Faramir and I lose Guard of the Citadel, but I think we're doing okay because I get to attack for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I kill the hill troll exactly, which is great. And I send it to the victory display, and because the hill troll dies and I have more than 8 progress on this quest, I immediately pass the quest because there are no hill troll cards in play. Now, because I passed the quest card, I get to ready Mendor and draw 1 card. And I get another Gandalf. That's really great. And I have the resources to play him too. So this is quite nice. Quite nice. Okay. So, quest card 2A, Anduin Passage. After defeating the troll, you are able to board the raft and embark upon a river voyage. As you depart, your enemies pursue, harassing the small vessel as you attempt to navigate the river. Now I need 16 progress to complete this stage, so quite a lot. As your enemies harass the raft, it is difficult to maintain balance and effectively fight them off. Reveal 1 additional card from the encounter deck each quest phase. Do not make engagement checks during the encounter phase. Each player may still optionally engage 1 enemy each encounter phase. So enemies no longer come to me automatically because I'm on this raft. Instead, I can choose 1 enemy each encounter phase if I would like to engage me. But I have to reveal 2 cards from the encounter deck every quest phase, which is quite bad. That's pretty bad. So we were in the middle of the combat phase, but first we killed a hill troll. And if you remember from our journey along the Anduin campaign instructions, we get to place a copy of Valor to a hero I control because I defeated a hill troll. So I take Valor, and I think I want to choose Aragorn here. If Aragorn does a lot of attacking, I can heal his 3 damage from him and deal damage straight to enemies. So that could be really nice, actually. So yes, I'm going to place 1 copy of Valor on Aragorn. And the combat phase ends, so I discard shadow cards. The round, in fact, ends, so Gandalf has to be discarded from play. Thanks for your help, Gandalf, in defending and attacking the hill troll. And now a new round begins. My threat goes up to 29. My hero's ready, and I draw a card. I draw Northern Tracker. Northern Tracker is a good location control card, but I don't have any locations to deal with right now, so I don't really have to worry about that. However, he is also a good attacker and quester, so I think I'm going to put him into play. I'm going to play 4 spirit resources for Northern Tracker. And I think that's all I'm going to play here. Now, I have to quest, and I have to quest through 16 progress, so it's going to take a while, and I have to reveal 2 cards every encounter phase. So I need to make sure to be questing quite a bit. So, what are we going to do here? Things are doing pretty decent threat-wise, and I get to choose 1 enemy to engage each time, so I feel pretty comfortable questing with a few characters. So I'm going to quest with Eowyn, Theodred, and Aragorn, and I am thinking about the Dol Guldur orcs, unfortunately, so I need to quest with someone else as well. I'm going to quest with my Silverlode Archer just in case I draw one of those orc cards. I will use one of Aragorn's resources to ready him after he commits to a quest, and additionally, I think I will use Theodred's resource to give it back to Aragorn from Theodred's commit to the quest ability. So I've committed 8 to the quest, and now I reveal 2 encounter cards. Let's hope I don't get anything too bad here. Firstly, we have a Goblin Sniper. During the encounter phase, players cannot optionally engage Goblin Sniper if there are other enemies in the staging area, and forced. If Goblin Sniper is in the staging area at the end of the combat phase, each player deals 1 point of damage to one character he controls. This enemy is a little bit of annoying. I can't engage him if there are other enemies in the staging area, which there currently are. So he has 2 threat, 2 attack, and 2 hit points. My second card is going to be the East Bite. It has 1 threat and 6 progress tokens. When faced with the option to travel, the players must travel to the East Bite if there is no active location. So, these cards aren't actually that bad to deal with. I end up making 4 progress on the quest, so I'm 1/4 of the way through the second quest card. And now in the travel phase, when faced with the option to travel, I must travel to the East Bite. So, there we go. Now, in the encounter phase, I can choose to optionally engage 1 enemy if I would like. And I think I probably should as well. I think I'm going to eventually want to take this Goblin Sniper, so I think I should take the Eastern Crows out. I think that's the smart move. The Eastern Crows do have this annoying ability, force after Eastern Crows is defeated, shuffle it back into the encounter deck. So that's going to be a little bit annoying. But I want to be able to optionally engage this sniper. So I'm going to go ahead. This is difficult. This is very difficult. Yes, I'm going to take the crows, even though I'm not sure that's a great idea. I'm going to take the crows, deal shadow cards. Okay, so I have some options here. I am going to defend these Misty Mountain Goblins, I think with my Northern Tracker. 2 defense to 2 attack. I do have to remove 1 progress from the quest because of the Misty Mountain Goblins attacking. And let's take a look at the shadow card. Treacherous Fog does nothing, so the Northern Tracker takes no damage, which is great. And now I have the Eastern Crows to worry about. This may be risky, but I do have a shadow cancellation in my hand, so I am going to defend with Mendor, who has 1 defense, and the Eastern Crows have 1 attack. So let's hope I don't get any bad shadow card here. And unfortunately, I get a shadow card. Attacking enemy gets +1 attack. So I have to spend 1 resource to cancel that, otherwise Mendor dies, and we leave, and we lose the game. So unfortunate that I had to waste my shadow cancellation there. But I do get to now use Aragorn as an attacker, which is great because he has Valor. So I am going to attack with Aragorn, the Misty Mountain Goblins. And after attached hero is declared as an attacker, exhaust Valor to heal 1 damage from the attached hero and deal 1 damage to the enemy. So I deal 1 damage to Misty Mountain Goblins, and I'm attacking for 3, which is just enough to clear its defense and finish off the Misty Mountain Goblins. So that copy of Valor really helped out in defeating that orc enemy there. The crows are going to stick around, which I guess is okay. At the end of the combat phase, I do have to deal 1 damage to 1 character I control because of Goblin Sniper. So I think I am going to choose... Interesting. I think I'm going to choose the Northern Tracker and deal 1 damage to the Northern Tracker there. Then at the end of the combat phase, this shadow card is discarded and the Eastern Crows stay engaged with me and the round ends. So I'm going to raise threat, get resources, and draw cards. Okay, this is a nice card. This is a nice card. Celebrian Stone. 2 cost to attach to a hero. Attached hero gains +2 willpower, and if attached hero is Aragorn, he gains a spirit resource icon, so he can play blue cards. This is a nice card to draw here. It's a very nice card. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and just play that right away. Celebrian Stone on Aragorn to give him +2 willpower permanently. He's a very good quester now, and he can play spirit cards as well. So that's quite nice. Other than that, I don't think I'm going to play any cards. Yes, I'm feeling okay about this setup now. So this East Bite is a pain because it has 6 progress tokens, so I need to quest quite a bit. So I'm going to quest with these 3 once again, and I'm going to use Aragorn's resource to ready him, and I will give Theodred's resource to Aragorn, so the net resources on Aragorn stays the same. Now, do I want to quest anything more than that? Probably, ideally, I would. But I don't know if I should. No, I don't think I will right now. So let's draw our 2 cards from the encounter deck and see what we get. Card number 1. Despair. Remove 4 progress tokens from the current quest card. If there are fewer than 4, remove all progress tokens. That's not too bad. I removed 3 progress tokens. Oh well, there's a lot of worse things, and Despair is nasty as a shadow effect. Defending character does not count its defense. So we don't have to worry about that now. And we reveal 1 additional card, and we get another copy of the East Bite. So this isn't bad at all, because I make 6 progress, which allows me to clear this copy of the East Bite exactly. And now when I'm faced with the option to travel to the East Bite, I must travel there. So I go straight there. So 1 East Bite for the next. Now, I can optionally engage the Goblin Sniper, which I think is going to be a smart decision. I think I should do that. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and optionally engage the Goblin Sniper so I don't have to be dealing points of damage to characters I control. So I'm going to deal shadow cards here. And let's start by defending the Goblin Sniper with my Northern Tracker. 2 damage to 2 defense in the shadow card. Attacking enemy gets +1 attack, +3 if it's undefended. So the Goblin does deal 1 damage to the Northern Tracker, unfortunately. That is not great. And now I have the Eastern Crows to deal with. And again, I'm faced with a dilemma. I don't really want to kill my Silverlode Archer if I can help it. This is tricky. I think to be extra safe, I'm going to defend the Crows with Aragorn. Let's flip the shadow card. Evil Storm does nothing here, no shadow effect. And I think it's good to leave the Eastern Crows in play because when I kill them, they have to get shuffled back into the encounter deck. And as we know, they have Surge, so things could get quite annoying. So I'm going to kill my Goblin Sniper with Silverlode Archer. 2 damage goes straight to the Sniper and it dies. And I'm debating if I should kill my Crows or not. I could kill the Crows and they shuffle back in the encounter deck, or I could keep them engaged with me. They only are attacking for 1 each time, which isn't too bad. And I think I should do that. I think that is the correct move. So I'm going to not attack the Eastern Crows. I'm going to leave them there, discard this shadow card, and go to the next round. And look, that's great. I drew another shadow cancellation. So that is quite nice. My threat is at 31, so I'm still doing well on that front. And now I have the option to play Faramir again. So I'm going to play 4 resources for yet another copy of Faramir. Okay, so again, we are in the questing phase, and we're doing a little bit better now. So I'm going to go ahead and quest with the same trio once again, and keep Aragorn ready. That is 9 progress currently, and I have the option to boost with Faramir as well. So that seems like a pretty good set of options there. So I reveal 2 cards from the encounter deck. Number 1, the Brown Lands, 5 threat. Forced, after the players travel to the Brown Lands, place 1 progress token on it. Now, I've been saving my Snowborn Scout just for this card. It has 1 progress token, and if it ends up staying in the location, in the staging area, I can always play a Snowborn Scout and just kick it right out of the staging area, because it only takes 1 progress to complete. So, 5 threat is a little bit annoying. Let's see what the second card is. And there is the Orcs that I have been waiting for. When revealed, the first player chooses 1 character currently committed to the quest, deal 2 damage to that character. Yes, so I was waiting for that. I do have an option open. I can deal 2 damage to Aragorn. He is now at 4 out of 5 damage, but that is okay. I made sure to have that open. So I end up making 2 progress, which I think is perfectly fine for now. I will optionally engage these Dol Guldur Orcs, and let's deal shadow cards. So I need to be a little bit careful with things. I'm going to go ahead and defend the Orcs with Faramir. Ooh, and we get another Despair. Defending character does not count its defense. So 2 damage goes straight to Faramir. He is still not dead though, so that's good. I didn't realize there were 2 copies of Despair in the encounter deck. I'm glad that Faramir did not die. Okay, so for my crows, I'm going to defend with my Northern Tracker. And I have to exhaust each damaged character I control. Oh no. So that would make me exhaust Mendor, Aragorn, and I wouldn't be able to kill my Dol Guldur orcs. That's an annoying shadow card. That's that Lingering Venom burden card that's showing up. So I think I am going to use a shadow cancellation here, Hasty Stroke, to cancel this shadow effect. So I'm not going to exhaust my damaged characters, and the Eastern Crows deal no damage to the Northern Tracker. Now I can go ahead and attack the orcs with my Aragorn that has Valor. So I'm going to exhaust Valor to heal 1 damage from Aragorn and deal 1 damage to the orcs. And then Aragorn finishes off those orcs as well. And I'm left with the same decision about if I want to kill my crows. Let's take a quick look at the encounter discard pile. How many copies of my I have all 3 copies of Dol Guldur orcs in the discard pile, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. How about the Eastern Crows? I only have 1 copy of that, so I think there's 1 more copy in the encounter deck. So I really don't want to put this back into the encounter deck and have surge effects going off one after another. So I'm going to leave this right here and not kill it once again. So I'm going to discard this shadow effect and go to the next round. Now I draw a Light in the Dark, which allows me to return an enemy to the staging area, which isn't much help right now. Okay, so now it is time for me to finally play my Snowborn Scout and use his response. After Snowborn Scout enters play, choose a location and place 1 progress token on that location. So I'm going to clear the brown lands exactly just like that. So that's a nice little effect I can do there. And then once again, let's see, I have quite a lot of questing ability here. I could quest for quite a bit. I haven't been using some of these characters, so I'm going to quest for these 3 once again, and ready Aragorn by putting the resource over there and then spending it using Aragorn's ability. But I think I could quest for even more potentially. I don't have to risk getting the Dol Guldur orc, so no damage. The Necromancer's Reach is out, so that's great. So I think maybe I should also be questing with Mendor. I think that's a good amount there. So I reveal 2 cards from the encounter deck. Firstly, Dol Guldur Beastmaster. 2 threat, 3 attack, 1 defense, and 5 hit points. When Dol Guldur Beastmaster attacks, deal it 1 additional shadow card. So this is an annoying enemy, but it does have an encounter level of 35, so I don't necessarily need to take it just yet. Let's draw my second card. Oh, look at that. We get another Dol Guldur Beastmaster. Okay, so that is not great. But we do end up making 6 progress, and I'm actually going to exhaust Faramir to give all of these questing characters +1 willpower. So we end up making 10 progress instead, which means 4 progress goes on the East Bite to clear it, and 6 spills over onto this quest in the back. Okay, so now I can go ahead and optionally engage 1 Beastmaster if I would like, and I think I probably should, because otherwise I'm going to have some threat building up in the staging area. So I am going to take a Beastmaster, which means when I deal shadow cards, it gets 1 additional shadow card. So I need to plan out how I want to do this now. I would ideally want to be able to kill my my Beastmaster. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I should be able to using interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and defend my Beastmaster with my Snowborn Scout. Sorry, Snowborn Scout. This always happens to you. And let's take a look at the shadow cards here. The first one, Attacking enemy gets +1 attack. That doesn't matter because my Snowborn Scout's going to die anyways. And the second one, Treacherous Fog, does nothing there. So my Snowborn Scout dies. Oh well, I guess that's kind of what he's made for. And then I'm going to defend my Northern Tracker, defend the Eastern Crows with the Northern Tracker shadow card. Choose and discard one attachment from the defending character. I do not have any attachments on the defending character for the Driven by Shadow to effect, so my Northern Tracker is A-okay. And now I get to declare attacks, and I think if I did my math right, I have exactly enough to kill my Dol Guldur Beastmaster. I declare the Archer and Aragorn as attackers, and I use Valor to exhaust Valor to heal a damage from Aragorn and deal 1 damage directly to Beastmaster. And then I have declared 5 attack strength. 1 defense means that 4 damage goes through, and I kill exactly my Beastmaster, which is great. So I don't kill my crows again, but I guess that's just fine, and I have another Beastmaster in the staging area. Now I forget, do I still have all these crows? Yes, so there is still 1 copy of the Eastern Crows in the encounter deck, these 7 cards here. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next round. So I keep drawing allies, which is good. I can keep building up some people here, and I am going to play this Guard of the Citadel for 2 resources there. And now I have Gandalf that I could play. It is an interesting idea. It could be time to play Gandalf, honestly. It could be time. That is an interesting idea. You know what? I think I might be able to quest through if I go hard enough, because I made 10 progress last time. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5 for Gandalf. Gandalf enters play again for 4 willpower, 4 attack, 4 defense, and 4 hit points. And I do have some options here. I could reduce my threat by 5 to be safe. I could deal 4 damage to the Beastmaster. That's not a good option since it has 5 hit points. Or I could draw 3 cards, which is looking a little bit interesting because I have almost no cards in my hand. So I think I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and draw 3 cards, which may not be a good idea. But I do draw a shadow cancellation, so that's nice. Okay, so I need to be careful here. I want to quest through, but if enemies come out, I need to be careful that I still have enough defenders left over. So, let's see. These don't have the Faramir boost anymore. I am going to quest with Gandalf, Mendor, Eowyn, Theodred, and Aragorn and keep him standing. I'm making 12 progress as of right now, and I could discard some things, 1 thing for Eowyn, and I could use Faramir to boost by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think that should be quite enough. So yes, I will quest with all of these people and see what happens here. 2 cards are coming out of the encounter deck. First card, we get Banks of the Anduin, which is a very friendly location. 1 threat, 3 progress, and forced. If Banks of the Anduin leaves play, return it to the top of the encounter deck instead of placing it on the discard pile. This is great because it allows you to know what's coming from the encounter deck. So this is a great card to reveal. Let's look at the next one. Gladden Fields. Okay, so not too bad here. Gladden Fields, again, is not a great card, but I don't think it matters much at this point. So currently we are making 8 progress, so I do have to exhaust Faramir to give them all a boost in willpower. But once I do that, I am making 13 progress, which is more than enough to quest through this quest phase. So that is great. I clear the quest, which means that Mendor gets to ready, and I get to draw a card. Okay. And we clear this quest card. So we go to the last quest card, 3A, Ambush on the Shore. The ongoing harassment from your enemies has forced your raft to the shore, and you must now confront their ambush head-on. If you survive this attack, the path to the Golden Wood should be open before you. Okay, let's flip it over. When revealed, reveal 2 encounter cards per player and add them to the staging area. Skip the staging step of the quest phase for the remainder of the game. Once there are no enemies in play, the players have won the game. So I'm about to reveal 2 cards from the encounter deck, and those are the last 2 cards that will come off the encounter deck, and then I just have to kill all the enemies in front of me in order to win the game. Now, there is one thing that I'm a little bit nervous about, which is a hill troll. I think, if I remember correct, there are 2 hill trolls in this encounter deck, and I think one of them is still in, yes, one of them is still in these 5 cards, so there's about a 50-50 chance that I'm about to draw a hill troll, which isn't great. So I reveal 2 cards from the encounter deck. Let's see what I get. The Brown Lands, that's a great card. Any location is okay for me right now. Now please just no enemy would be great, but no hill troll especially. And great, another location. Okay, Necromancer's Pass. I think we're gonna be just okay here. We should be able to beat this quest by killing our crows and Beastmaster, and we got lucky that we did not draw a troll. Okay, so for the travel phase, I'm going to go ahead and travel to the Brown Lands, and after I travel there, I immediately place 1 progress token on it, so that just discards from play. And then I can choose to optionally engage the Beastmaster if I want, but I don't have to. I think it would probably be a little silly not to, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Because I think I can win right now. So let's deal shadow cards. The Beastmaster, of course, gets 1 additional shadow card. And here we go. So I need to be able to deal 6 damage to the Beastmaster and 1 to the Eastern Crows. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That can take down the Beastmaster. 1 there. Yes, so we should be good to go. I'm going to defend the Beastmaster with Guard of the Citadel, who's going to die, but that's okay. Let's look at the shadow cards. It gets +1 attack. That's okay. There was that last copy of Eastern Crows I was worried about. And Chieftain Uftalk has no shadow card. So my Guard of the Citadel does die, which I expected. That is completely okay. And then for the Eastern Crows, I will defend with, how about, I could with Mendor, because I do have this shadow cancellation, but everything will be fine regardless. So I'm going to defend with Silverlode Archer. And there's that last hill troll that I was worried about. The Crows kill my Silverlode Archer, which is okay, because I do not need him to kill the rest of my enemies. So now I'm going to go ahead and declare Mendor as an attacker against my Eastern Crows. After Eastern Crows is defeated, shuffle it back into the encounter deck. So the shadow card goes to the discard pile, but the Eastern Crows goes back to the encounter deck. That doesn't matter. And then I declare Aragorn and Northern Tracker as attackers against the Beastmaster. I use Valor to heal a damage from Aragorn, deal a damage to the Beastmaster, and then I'm attacking for 5 damage, which is just enough to kill my Beastmaster. All enemies have been discarded from play, so the players have won the game. And oh my goodness, what a quest this was. I have to admit, at the beginning, when I was stalling for so much time and getting so much damage dealt to my characters, I did not think I had a chance to defeat this quest, but it all turned out okay in the end. Whew, okay, so we win, we beat the quest, which is great. So let's do campaign resolution. Journey along the Anduin. Let's flip this card. I never had to have a hero become scarred, which is really, really great. So let's flip over this card. Resolution. Add each copy of Valor and Scarred in play to the campaign pool. Okay, so that's just 1 copy of Valor for me. Let's see here. Record the names of heroes with Valor and or Scarred attached in the campaign log and attach them to those heroes when setting up each subsequent scenario in this campaign. The hero with the most damage will be taken prisoner at the beginning of Escape from Dol Guldur. So, Theodred is going to be taken prisoner because he has 3 damage on him. That's probably okay because my other two characters are even better. Theodred is probably the weakest of these heroes, so that's okay. Other than that, record the name of the prisoner in the notes section of the campaign log. Okay. Our pursuers were too persistent in their ambush, too well planned to be mere coincidence, says Mendor after finally reaching the shores of Lorien. I fear a greater evil directs them from the shadows. Okay, so we narrowly survive this quest. Theodred is going to be taken as prisoner, and I believe that is it. So next time I will be playing Escape from Dol Guldur, the third quest in the Mirkwood Paths campaign. And again, I beat this quest on my first try. I didn't think I was going to at first, but we narrowly escaped by the skin of our teeth. So, thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time.